Good morning, Anne.
Good morning, James.
And good morning, everybody. Hopefully, as always, you are all having a wonderful weekend or a wonderful week whenever it is that you are listening. So we are back. Sunday Vibes podcast in the morning, Sunday.
Once more.
Back at base.
Yes.
So there we go. All is very, very well.
Yes.
Brilliant. Are you happy to begin, Anne?
I am, yes.
Brilliant. Okay, well, over to you then.
I've been thinking really about the last week. As you know from the last podcast, the last one was done in a hospital room. And it's made me think about change and how things can change within minutes of our lives.
True, yes.
That, one moment we think everything's fine and the next moment life changes.
Yes.
So it's made me think about things that have made changes in my life, going back really, certain things that have sometimes the whole course of my life's been changed overnight.
Yes.
But I can remember going to America for the first time.
Right, okay.
And this is relevant really for me as far as change in the world is concerned.
Yes.
So, and it would be probably the 70s. Yeah, 70s, late 70s.
1970s. So this was a holiday to America?
Yes.
For the first time?
Yes, with friends.
Right, okay.
And the friend of mine had gone working for a timeshare company.
Okay.
And this timeshare company gave her 2 weeks in a timeshare anywhere in the world while she was working with them.
Oh, wow.
So she said, "Do you want to come to America?"
Yes.
So of course, Jim and I said, "Yeah, we'd love to go to America." Never thinking we would go to America at all.
Great.
And she had a timeshare on Orange Lake.
Orange Lake. Whereabouts is that?
Not far from Disney.
Florida.
Yes, Florida.
Oh, wow.
Yes. But we decided that the four of us, we're very close friends.
Yes.
The four of us would go to America, but not just to go to Orange Lake.
Yes.
To tour around America as well.
Wow.
So before we actually went to the apartment or the villa itself,
yes,
we toured around America. But before we even went, we got to the airport, and you can imagine then, people weren't going to America then.
Right.
In the 70s, like they do now.
Yes.
People just didn't go.
Okay.
And we were so excited. And at the airport, when we were getting the plane, we met a couple who we were talking to just in the airport as general. It's not the same now. People don't talk the same in airports like we used to.
Yes.
But travel wasn't as prevalent as
Yes.
it is now either.
So it was a big deal.
It was a big deal travelling, yeah.
Yes.
And going on a long distance plane anyway, of course it was.
Did you feel like royalty?
I don't know. I think I felt scared. I felt excited. I don't know. Not sure how I actually felt. But we were talking
An
to
adventure.
It was a real adventure.
A real adventure.
Because we just didn't know what to expect.
Wow.
And the couple we were talking to, they were the same, and they were going in a hotel. So we're just exchanging, our views on where we were going.
Yes.
They went to this hotel. We went off on our travels.
Is this in the United Kingdom, or have you landed in America?
No, this is in the United Kingdom we're talking about.
Okay,
so
this is before you even
flown,
gone, right?
Before we even got there. And, anticipating what we're going to see.
Yes.
With no idea at all what to expect.
Right.
Even in Disneyland, we didn't know.
Okay, wow.
Because those were dreams. Those
Yes.
were dreams you had in my day. They weren't something that was reality. Now kids expect to go to Disney, but it was just one of those things. So on the way back, we met this couple again.
This time in America?
No.
Oh,
in
right.
America, yes, at the airport in America.
Right, on the way back.
On the way
Wow.
back. Because obviously, we've gone on the plane. They were going for the same amount of time, so they come back on the same plane
flight,
as us.
right.
On the same flight.
I understand. Okay.
So we're in the airport talking, and this couple come along to us. And they said, "Oh, how did you go on?"
Yes.
So we said, "Well, we've had a fabulous time. We've done travelling, and then we've also been to Disney, and we've been to, all the places that we'd been to."
Yes.
And how did you go on? And they said, "Everything is wonderful." And then, everything was big, because obviously it's a tiny country. So everything seemed massive to us.
Yes.
So she said, what was your hotel like? We said. So she said, oh, it was wonderful. She said, the waiter said to us before we've just left, how have you found it? How have you found America? And she said, the lady said, we found everything is bigger and better.
Bigger and better.
Bigger and better.
Right.
Because if you had a sandwich, you'd probably have 8 ounces of pastrami on it.
Right, yeah, I've seen them.
The sandwiches were everything was big. The food was everything.
Right.
So she said, everything's bigger and better. And the waiter said to her, everything may be bigger and better, but we will never have class.
Oh, that's interesting.
And I found that really interesting.
So the waiter said, we as in America will never have class.
Never have class. We can't have the class that you have. And I've watched over the years, since then, I've watched very carefully, and as people have started going to America,
yes,
we've taken on American ways. They haven't taken on our class. We've taken on their ways.
When you say class, or when the waiter brought up class, what do you think he meant by that?
What he meant is what I'm going to say now is that
yes.
I go into a restaurant here now, and it can be a restaurant, not just a cafe.
Yes.
And the table has a serviette with a knife and fork in it.
Yes.
That would never have happened in this country then.
It wasn't
a table was set properly.
Yeah.
And it still to this day annoys me
that it's not set correctly.
That it's not set correctly.
Yeah.
That was nothing to do with your status in life.
Yeah.
That's what you were taught. Your first job within a family was how to lay the table.
Okay.
Manners.
So an etiquette.
An etiquette.
An etiquette, okay.
So that sort of class he was talking about.
Yes, manners are another example.
Manners, yes. So, and I think that's what's happened is we've lost our way of life in this country.
Yes.
We had very, very high standards as British people.
Yes.
And I think people think class is to do with
money, status,
importance, and it isn't. It was nothing to do with that at all. So what it's made me understand, and what I understand is how things have changed. They've changed such a lot, and I think that's why we're having problems within all industries as well, because what's happened is people think they go to work.
Yes.
And they're doing a favour to their employer by working for them.
Right.
I've always said, and this is how I was brought up, that your employer pays your mortgage. Your employer puts food on your table.
So it's bringing in a sense of gratitude.
Yes. And I think maybe that's
rather
what
than
we've
an
lost.
expectation.
Yes.
That's interesting. That is interesting. It has shifted.
It's shifted a lot, more than people even realise.
Maybe the dial has shifted too far from one side to the other.
Yes.
Maybe it was too far, as in people's rights and people's protections in work needed to be strengthened, and now they've gone too far. That is an argument to be had, and I don't think there's a clear and obvious answer. But maybe it's gone too far the other way, or maybe people's appreciation has waned, and that's what you're talking about.
Yes.
People are ungrateful.
Yes.
At times, as we all can be, in a world that distracts us. And instant gratification is around every corner and with the next click of a button. However, truly meaningful and genuine feelings seem to be amiss, don't they? And gratitude is a part of that. I do find it interesting that you brought up class in the story, and I think it's a good place to place it.
Yes.
In a holistic context rather than a class structure, because the United Kingdom and Britain has had, and to some extent still has, but certainly did have a class structure which was much more socio and economically modelled, and that was linked to who your parents were, where you're born, so on and so forth.
Your job.
Yes, in terms of status linked to a job. But from a holistic point of view, it's not it's not outwardly what defines you, it's inwardly. From a holistic point of view, the class that we could look at, or we are looking at, is how you conduct yourself in any given situation, and how you present yourself to the world, and how you treat other people. And that can be in any situation and with anybody. So that class, and being classy in that context, and having words like decorum and dignity and respect and refinement, could be in any situation. You could be anybody, born anywhere, look like anyone, or look like no one. You can be any particular political persuasion. You can have unlimited funds of money, and you can have no money at all, and yet you can still elude class. You can be classy. You can be. It's obviously subjective, and these words are, adjectives that could describe different things to different people. And I'm sure you all listening this morning have your own ideas, but a sense of class, being classy,
Yes.
how we present ourselves, how we treat other people, the decency, the dignity, the decorum,
Morally.
yes, it's a moral compass that is definitely idealistic,
Yes.
maybe slightly romantic, but certainly built around a sense of conscience, a sense of goodness, and a sense of something innate inside. And that, I feel, is what the story is alluding to. And on the surface, lots of things like how a table is set may seem frivolous, and maybe they are in certain contexts, and maybe taken in isolation, they are seemingly maybe eccentric at best, and certainly unnecessary, and rather stiff and formal and restrictive in another sense, but
it's not.
placed as part of a wider tapestry. It's part of an awareness about bringing, in the best possible sense, in a holistic sense, it's about bringing attention back to doing something with full focus. So to just throw a knife and fork down means that you're not consciously thinking about it. To purposefully set a table means that you're paying attention. And to set a table for other people means that you are being considerate and aware and purposeful in preparing the table for who is going to sit there. And when you sit down, it's clear that the table has been prepared for you,
Yes.
which then you feel deserves a level of gratitude, and we are mutually reciprocating that consideration for each other. I'm talking about it in the best of sense, and it isn't always that, I know, and it's idealistic, of course, but
But it is, isn't it?
If we erode away the etiquette of life, and if we erode away manners, we lose the anchor that holds us to this class, that holds us to that inner being. I've spoken for a while, Alan, and I know you wanted to jump in, so over to you.
Well, for me, the table manners are very, very important, because that starts at a very young age.
Yes.
So it's not only the case of your knife and fork is set correctly. It's also like my father would, or Jim used to say to the girls, take your elbows off the table.
Yes.
Sit up straight. Eat your food properly.
Yes.
Those are tools for life afterwards. What I'm saying is, it's not a case of class. It's you learn at a very young age tools for when you get older.
Absolutely.
So that if you learn at that age to sit properly in the chair, when you're an adult, you have a presence. If
Yes.
you're slumped in your chair, it's a different type of presence, isn't it?
It's sophistication, civilization, isn't it?
And we
It's
need
one
it.
version of it, but it's certainly a version of it that we miss, and we certainly notice the absence of it. Sometimes we don't recognise it if it becomes the norm, and maybe the complacency started there. Just to be clear, this isn't linked to an economic status
No, it's
or
nothing
a
to do with
particular
that.
job or who your parents are or what school you went to. This is something that everybody has access to in potential, and it's for everybody. It's universal. This is about a self-dignity and a self-respect and a self-responsibility to bring this forward. we will all have our personalities. We all do have our personalities. And isn't that wonderful? But there are things that we can all recognise that we share that are done in certain ways that we can then have those moments of repetition, of routine that bring us comfort, steadiness and focus. So that there is a way to set a table. Yes. There is a way. I honestly feel the world would be a better place, and certainly to bring back to the United Kingdom, it would be a better place if gentlemen and men would stand when a lady, when a woman, a female, stands to leave a table. I feel that chivalry, again in the best possible context, is fundamentally important for decency and for dignity and for decorum from a male perspective, and I hope and trust from a female perspective as well. Opening a door for a lady, allowing a lady to have a seat, taking your hat off for anybody, but certainly for a lady, for a woman, for all women, because all women are sacred, not just some women, but all women. And for us to bring that back in true feeling from the heart, with conscience, but purposefully, focused, on purpose, and unashamedly, not to be embarrassed or for people to point fingers saying, ooh, la-di-da, who do you think you are? Exactly, who do we think we are? That's the question, who do we think we are? And if somebody says, who do you think I am? And you say, I feel that you're very special and I want to treat you accordingly. And often people will live up to how we treat them. And that's certainly true for children. I've seen it time and time again. If we judge people on who they are today and who they've been, lots of people can find so many things in their life to pull themselves apart day after day after day. But if we judge people on who they are today and who they can become tomorrow and who they can become next week, next year, next decade, then we start to see the potential in children. We start to see the potential in each other, and we start to ask each other to rise up. People often don't live up to what is given to them. People live up to the expectations that are set for them. And I feel that people have shied away from that because there is a pressure with it. But if you set expectations, high expectations, and you confirm that with a deep faith in people, you're saying to them, you will live up to these expectations because you're capable of it. We won't lower the bar for you because you're less than somebody else. We will raise the bar for everybody because you're all capable of it. And you're enough as you are, but your potential commands to rise. The human spirit rises. Enough is never enough. And I'm not talking about money or greed or avarice. That's the other side of this. And we always have to be, I'm talking to myself, absolutely aware and as wise as possible when looking at the pursuit of more, because the pursuit of more often morphs into something self-absorbed, avaricious and destructive. And I do not mean that. I'm talking about the human spirit rises. We have the call to adventure in our hearts. We have the feeling of a horizon. We want to move towards that horizon. We are called to that frontier. We as human beings are called to that adventure. And more will always be the human role, the human spirit, to move forward.
It started, I would say that I'm going back in time now. So
yes.
So a day started when I was young. And I, as I've spoken before, I was young. I was tiny during the war. I was born during the war and growing up. But it started with 3 meals a day. Breakfast, dinner and tea. You didn't have lunch and evening meal. You had breakfast, dinner and tea.
Yes.
So those who were eaten together around a table.
Yes.
With no television, because there wasn't such a thing as a television. There was a radio, but there was no radio on at all when people were eating.
The wireless.
So wireless, yeah. So we had to talk.
Yes.
So people communicated with each other, with families. Any problems were sorted out at the table. You came home from school, and even when my children came home from school, we sat around the table to eat. There wasn't television on or anything. We sat round. That's where you find out what your children are doing and where they're up to.
Yes.
What I'm finding now, and I may be wrong, I'm not saying I'm right in this, is what I'm finding is people are, and I hear it all the time, are seeking. They're seeking themselves I hear this. I don't understand it, I've got to be honest. But they're seeking themselves. And I hear people say, I'm seeking my higher self.
Right.
I'm finding myself. And I don't understand why we're not just joining together and just being and talking and going through our problems ourselves and helping each other. People seem to be on a journey now for themselves. And they're doing that in a community of people. I'm not saying they're not.
Yes.
So you can have a community of people who have come together who may all be doing the same things, but not seeking as one, seeking ourselves to try and find ourselves.
So it's very individualistic.
Yes, even though it's a group of people together.
Yes.
I'm not saying I'm right, that's how I see it.
I think society as a whole, and maybe even the world as a whole, is very much like that.
Yes.
It's very individualised.
It's odd, isn't it?
Yeah. But yes, it is odd. Yes, it's lost its way. It's become overcomplicated and unnecessary, generally speaking. Certainly, if we're looking at it again, maybe from a modern day spiritual context, today there are some wonderful people doing some wonderful things, and there are many people around this world in various ways doing the best they can to make this world a better place for other people. But there are also a lot of people looking to make money.
Yes.
And attaching
some a lot of money.
Some a lot of money, which in and of itself isn't wrong or
No.
bad, but if somehow it's not authentic or genuine, it doesn't ring true.
No.
And somehow it doesn't feel quite right in that particular context.
We have to be careful it's not the vulnerable as well, isn't it?
Yes.
Because there are vulnerable people out there.
Given any particular day or any particular set of circumstances, we are all vulnerable.
Absolutely.
We are all vulnerable, and we are all open to impression, and we are all persuaded, either through flattery or fear or argument.
Yes.
You know, we all are, of course we are. But there's a lot that's speaking to the weakness of each other rather than the strength. And that's the part that I am troubled by in going into problems rather than focusing on helping others. Because it's a never-ending spiral, and it becomes extremely self-absorbed and rather selfish. And I feel it makes people afraid of life, and it weakens them. And they're so scared of thinking anything negative, and they're so scared of anything going wrong that they cannot speak freely, and their mind cannot express itself. And life can't be a full experience, which is joyful and sad,
Yes.
calm and chaotic, up and down. Times of wellness, times of sickness. People you say hello to, and then those same people you say goodbye to. This is life. It is wonderful, but it is a whole experience. It is the holy experience, and there is a time for everything in our lives. And I feel we've forgotten that. There really is a time to laugh, but also a time to cry, a time to be quiet, and a time to speak up, a time for friends, and a time to be alone, a time to move, and a time to stay. There is a time for all things. Wisdom is to know and to accept. Nobody does that all of the time.
No.
Nobody does that all of the time. So I feel bringing things back to basics,
Yes.
to simplicity, as best put, how we treat each other, how we help each other, and the sincerity in that. Not thinking of each other, helping each other because we feel we ought to, but because it is our natural instinct to do so. Looking to the best within each other, reaching out to the strength in each other, and having high expectations with full support of each other, because the human spirit rises and each individual is capable in potential of anything in terms of possibility. Obviously there are many restraints on all of our lives, depending upon the life we have, who we're with, how much money we've got, the body we have, So obviously we're limited relatively in so many ways. So that unlimited potential in a way is poetic and is more energetic in that particular sense, because our physical limitations are clear for different people in all different ways. But it's having that sense of possibility and to be our brother's keeper, to be part of something that we can call humanity, and to hold our heads up high and to feel like we are taking care of each other without weakening each other, giving each other space to grow but never leaving somebody without help if necessary, and taking care of our earth and being stewards of our land and stewards of our planet in a way that we are enjoying it but not destroying it. And I know, and I'm sure you all listening, this is not the case across our earth. We are not good stewards of our planet Earth. We are destroying our planet Earth. We are not our brother's keeper, generally speaking. We do not, as a human race, seem to care about each other, and we are actively hostile to other people. And this is where the greatest change and the future lies, in the unity of humanity, but it will be a place of enormous strength. And a human being, I know, and I'm sure you've alluded to it, Anne, or no, you did allude to it, sorry to speak incorrectly of you there, absolutely alluded to it, where you can hold your head up high.
Yes.
So yes.
I think
yes.
I
hope that makes sense.
It does make
a bit
sense.
of a ramble there, but there we go.
I think the thing is, what I hear is people are concerned firstly about self.
Yes.
You know, what am I doing? Am I doing this correctly? Am I doing that correctly? What I have to achieve. Most things when people are talking is about self-development, how, you know, it is just all me in many cases. What I remember growing up is it was always said, always, all the time, people would say, we've got to pull together.
Yes.
There was never self. It's always when people were talking, we have to pull together during the war. We've got to pull together. Pulling together was if you had no sugar, you went to your neighbour and you said to your next door neighbour, can I borrow some sugar? And they would give you some of their sugar.
Yes.
So it was looking after each other. So the pulling together is not about self, it's about community really. So we go back to community. But I do understand how we have these problems, because today, as I was saying to you, James, is my son-in-law has been and painted my ceilings.
This week?
This week.
Yeah.
Yes, this week. And when he came, he's retired. He's retired now.
Yeah.
And he asked, and I said to him, how much do I owe you? And he said nothing. So then this is an example of the dilemma we go into with ourselves.
Yes.
So I said, no, I must pay you. And he said, well, no, I'm retired, so I'll do friends and family.
Mates
nothing.
rates.
Yes,
yeah.
Mates rates. But I'm saying, but you see, I'm saying because of my own conscience,
Yes.
not his, I'll have to give you something. So we put ourselves in dilemmas, don't we? That's what I'm saying to you is.
Yes.
We're not, life isn't as straightforward as it should be, as you've just been saying.
No, it isn't.
It's so it's so easy if we do it the right way. But we have to come away from...
Easier. Like, I don't think life on earth will ever be easy, but it will be easier.
No, life's easy. We
The
just
the mental torment and the procrastination and the hesitation and the anxiety can evaporate.
But we put ourselves through that. Nobody else does.
Yes, I agree. I'm agreeing with what you're saying, Anne, yes.
Yeah, it's life experience is absolutely wonderful, good, bad and indifferent.
Yes.
That makes us the characters we are.
Yes. I feel you're absolutely right, Anne, and there's so much out there, and maybe we can round up on this now.
Yes.
Within the political spectrum across the world, to be honest with you, geopolitics globally, and people are talking about it, so they should. It really is on a knife edge, really, at the moment. everywhere across the world.
Yes.
It's like a tinderbox with the fuse lit. Economically, around the world, such polar experiences in unbelievable wealth with individuals and corporations making astronomical amounts of money, and yet there is abject poverty around the world, and yet people even in this country are working full-time and are struggling to be able to cover everything that they need to and have anything spare that enables them to feel like they're getting on in life, or a sense of security and encouragement, and everything that working hard promises to produce in the society that the people have built together. So it can feel hopeless, it can feel lost. I've heard many times that the world is broken and that Britain is broken, and in certain contexts, yes it is, and it would be incorrect to say otherwise. It would be a lie to deny it. However, in another sense, no, it's not, because the human spirit rises. And if we return to a centre point that unites us all, whether you are of a particular political persuasion and somebody else isn't, they think differently to you, maybe they oppose you, but can you conduct your discussions amicably? Can you treat each other with respect and decorum? Can you put politics in all contexts, in every context, aside when it's important? Can we treat people with decency, with humanity? Can we be firm and fair? Can we be honest? And can we be trustful of each other? Can we bring that back? Because if we can, and I know we can, the world has fallen, but it can and will rise. So I suggest that in any given moment, if we can affirm the unity of life and bring decency and goodness and humanity and genuine sincerity back to each moment of our lives, the world needs it now more than ever before, particularly with people that we don't like, particularly when listening to or dealing with people who have opposing opinions and ideas about the world. In those moments, more than any others, certainly at the moment, that decency, that goodness is needed. We must remember that, because that enables that goodness to flourish. I think it's so important, because the world is filling up with hatred, and it will lead to war and destruction and death, and it already has started. We can turn this around, one day at a time, one person at a time, but every single day, and every single person is a part of that. You all listening, we can turn this around, not whimsically, but really. This really is, 2026 is the year of hope and action. So we must action that, and we must lift our head up and hold it high.
But we have to feel it.
Yes.
People have to start feeling it. Feel and tell the truth, and we will do it.
Yes. Be brave. Be bold. Yes. Courage. And together, let's pull together the words that you used, Anne. Let's pull together, everybody. Let's pull together, and we can do this.
That's regardless of status, as we started, regardless of status, regardless of religion, regardless of anything.
Yes.
It doesn't matter who we are all human beings.
Yes.
And if we see ourselves as one,
yes,
then we'll start.
We have
succeeding.
Started. Yes.
We have started.
And we are succeeding, absolutely. And I have no doubt you all listening now are a part of that, and in your way are shining your light, and are making a difference in our world and our shared world. So let's pull together, and thank you for everything that you do in your life, and thank you for supporting us. So with real passion, conviction.
Finish.
Yes. Time to finish,
Time to
absolutely.
finish.
Well, have a wonderful rest of the weekend, or a wonderful week, whenever it is that you're listening. And as always, we look forward to being with you and speaking with you again next Sunday.
Bye.
Bye bye, everybody. Bye bye.